think prepping is just for the wealthy? You might want to reconsider that notion. It's a common misconception that being prepared for emergencies is a luxury that only the well-off can afford. Images of high-tech bunkers stocked with years' worth of gourmet food and top-of-the-line gear might spring to mind. However, this isn't the reality for most preppers, nor does it have to be. Prepping is about being ready for the unexpected, and that doesn't have to come with an exorbitant price tag. It's not about having the latest gear or a bunker filled with canned caviar. It's about being resourceful, strategic, and smart with your resources. It's about knowing how to prioritize your needs and make the most of what you have. So, let's debunk this misconception together. By the end of this video, you will see how affordable prepping can be. Many people shy away from prepping due to perceived high costs. It's a common misconception that being prepared for emergencies or disasters means emptying your bank account. The reality is, yes, there are aspects of prepping that can add up. Purchasing long-term food storage, investing in quality gear, and implementing security measures, these can indeed be significant expenses. Let's break this down a bit further. Food storage is a key component of prepping. You might think you need to have an arsenal of MREs or freeze-dried meals stocked up, but those can be pricey. Then there's the gear: tents, sleeping bags, water filters, first aid kits, and more. It's easy to get carried away with the latest and greatest gadgets on the market. And let's not forget about security measures. Some folks feel the need to invest in high-tech surveillance systems or even personal defense items. These costs can indeed be daunting and can discourage many from taking steps toward preparedness. It's not just the upfront costs either. There's also the ongoing expense of maintaining and replacing your supplies, ensuring they're still safe and effective to use when you need them. And if you're a beginner, the list of recommended supplies can seem never-ending. But here's the thing. Prepping doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing endeavor. You don't need to buy all your supplies at once, nor do you need the most expensive items. Prepping is more about readiness and resilience, and less about having an abundance of stuff. It's about knowing how to make do with what you have and being resourceful. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the potential financial burden of prepping, remember this: you're not alone. Many have been in your shoes, and they found ways to prep without breaking the bank. However, there's a smarter way to approach this. It's about being strategic, patient, and resourceful. It's about understanding what you truly need, prioritizing those items, and finding affordable ways to acquire them. And that's exactly what we'll explore in the next part of this guide. So stay tuned and let's navigate this journey together. Opening. The key to affordable prepping lies in smart budget planning. So, how do we go about this? Well, it starts with prioritizing what's truly important. The essentials, the things you absolutely cannot survive without, should be your primary focus. We're talking about food, water, fire, and shelter. These are the basic human needs in any emergency situation. Food and water are straightforward. You'll need a supply to last you through the duration of your emergency plan, whether that's 3 days, a week, or even a month. Keep in mind, though, that it's not just about quantity, but also quality. Investing in nutritious, long-lasting food items and clean, potable water is crucial. Fire might not seem like an essential at first, but it's a key component of survival. It provides warmth, a way to cook food, and a means to purify water. A few lighters or matches and perhaps a flint striker for backup can make all the difference. Shelter, finally, is about ensuring you have a safe, warm place to stay. This could be your home, but it's always good to have a contingency plan. A good quality tent, sleeping bag, or even just a tarpaulin for emergency shelter can be life-saving. Now, while these essentials are important, it's just as crucial to avoid falling into the trap of unnecessary spending. Flashy, trendy items might look appealing, but they're often not necessary. Remember, the latest high-tech gadget won't be much use if you don't have the basics covered. So, when budgeting for your prepping, always prioritize the essentials. And then, only if you have funds remaining, consider those additional items that might make life a little more comfortable or convenient in an emergency situation. Remember, it's not about having everything, it's about having the right things. And often, the right things are the simplest, most basic items. With smart budgeting, you can cover your bases without overspending. Closing. With smart budgeting, you can cover your bases without overspending. DIY solutions and secondhand purchases can save you a lot of money. Yes, you heard it right. Let's dive into this a bit deeper. Firstly, let's consider DIY solutions. We often overlook the fact that we can create many of our essential supplies ourselves. For instance, building a rainwater collection system can provide a sustainable water supply, and it doesn't require a lot of technical expertise or high-cost materials. Just a few barrels, some PVC pipes, and a bit of your time can set you up with a water source that replenishes itself. Or consider food. Did you know you can make your own dehydrated meals? All you need are some fresh ingredients, an oven, and some airtight storage containers. These homemade meals can last for a long time, are lightweight, and require only boiling water to prepare. Plus, you control what goes into them, ensuring you get the nutrients you need. Now, let's talk about second-hand purchases. Who said everything needs to be brand new? Often you can find high-quality, barely used items at a fraction of the original price. Places like local buy and sell forums, garage sales, and online marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace are treasure troves for second-hand gear. It's about being smart and discerning in your purchases. Look for items that are durable and have a lot of life left in them. And don't shy away from bartering. It's a great way to bring the price down even further. But remember, not everything should be bought secondhand. Some items like personal protective equipment or certain medical supplies should always be new for safety reasons. In summary, DIY solutions and secondhand purchases are about creativity and resourcefulness. They're about looking at what you need and finding unconventional, cost-effective ways to meet those needs. So, think outside the box, and you'll be surprised at how much you can save. A little creativity and resourcefulness can go a long way in prepping. Bulk buying and leveraging community resources can greatly cut your prepping costs. Now let's dive into how you can make this work for you. Firstly, let's talk about the power of bulk buying. This is an excellent way to save on non-perishable items. Think dried beans, rice, canned goods, and even toilet paper. The key here is to buy in large quantities when these items are on sale. And remember, these are goods that don't spoil, so you don't have to worry about wasting anything. It's a simple, effective way to build up your supplies over time without straining your wallet. But what about fresh produce, you may wonder? This is where community resources come into play. Many communities have local swaps where you can trade items with your neighbors. Maybe you have an abundance of canned tomatoes but need some fresh potatoes. A local swap could be the perfect solution. Cooperative purchases are another valuable community resource. In a nutshell, this is when a group of people come together to buy in bulk directly from suppliers, allowing everyone to get a lower price. This can be an excellent way to get items like fresh meat or produce that typically don't come cheap. And let's not forget about community gardens. These are gardens where everyone pitches in and shares the harvest. Not only can they provide fresh produce, but they also offer a fantastic way to learn about gardening, a valuable skill for any prepper. In addition, consider reaching out to local farms. Many offer programs where you can work in exchange for food. It's a win-win, you get fresh produce, and they get some extra help. So, as you can see, there are many ways to save on your prepping costs if you're willing to think outside the box and engage with your community. Remember, preparation is not just an individual effort, it's a community one. Let's take a look at a real-life example of successful budget prepping. I'd like to share the story of the Johnson family. Living in a small town with a modest income, they faced the challenge of preparing for potential emergencies on a tight budget. Their goal was to secure a 3-month supply of essentials. Did they succeed? Absolutely. And their strategy was simple: smart planning, resourcefulness, and a dash of creativity. First, they started with a well-thought-out budget plan. They allocated funds for essentials such as food, water, and shelter, prioritizing these over less critical items. They didn't get swayed by flashy, trendy gear. Instead, they stuck to the basics, ensuring they had what they needed to survive. Next, they embraced the art of DIY. From building their own rainwater collection system to making dehydrated meals at home, they learned to create their own supplies. This approach not only saved them money, but also empowered them with useful skills. The Johnsons also made second-hand purchases. They turned to local online marketplaces, garage sales, and thrift stores to find reliable gear at a fraction of the retail price. They learned to spot quality items, ensuring they got the best value for their money. They also made use of bulk buying and sales for non-perishable items. They kept an eye out for discounts and sales, buying in bulk when prices were low. This approach allowed them to stock up on essentials without straining their budget. Finally, they tapped into community resources. They joined a local swap group where they could trade items with other preppers. They also participated in cooperative purchases and community gardens, further stretching their budget. As you can see, the Johnsons used a combination of smart planning, DIY solutions, second-hand purchases, bulk buying, and community resources to fully prep on a very tight budget. Their story is a testament to the fact that, with the right approach, it's entirely possible to prep on a budget. Their success story can be your success story too. As you can see, it's entirely possible to prep on a budget. So, there you have it. Prepping on a budget is not only possible, but it's also effective. We've debunked the myth that you need a treasure chest to weather any storm. With smart budget planning, focusing on the basics like food, water, fire, and shelter, you can lay a solid foundation for your preparedness. Don't forget, you can create your own supplies through DIY solutions. Building a rainwater collection system or dehydrating your own meals can save you a bundle. Keep an eye out for secondhand gear. It can be a goldmine of savings. And remember to utilize sales and bulk buying for your non-perishable items. Your community can be a wonderful resource. Local swaps, cooperative purchases, and community gardens can help stretch your prepping dollars even further. Please like, subscribe, and share this video to help others get prepared too. And don't forget to comment below with your own budget prepping tips or questions.